I'm sorry.
Okay. That's not gonna work. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and today's video I'm going to be sharing some quick and easy high protein lunch ideas. So if you enjoy this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And let's get started. Pretty much I'm just going to be sharing my lunch with you guys for the next couple days. Some of these lunches have become go-tos lately, so especially the one I'm making today, the tuna pita. I have just been loving it because it's so simple to throw together. I just pop it in the air fryer. It's filling, it's got a good amount of protein, and I usually pair it with just like some chips and a fruit or something. So I'm gonna be sharing that today, and then I'll be sharing a couple other meals with you guys that I've also been having as lunches. And with these are just really quick and easy with ingredients that I usually have on hand, and these are some of the things that really help me on my weight loss and maintenance journey. Today, I'm making a tuna pita. I'm gonna be making it on a 2-ingredient dough pita that I actually already had made. So I did make this with 2-ingredient dough. I used 1 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a cup of Chobani non-fat plain Greek yogurt. I feel like this is just the best yogurt to use for 2-ingredient dough. I've used so many other types and brands, and every single time this always makes the best product. And sometimes I get questions from people saying that the 2-ingredient dough didn't work for them, and a lot of times I feel like it has to do with the type of yogurt you use. I always make sure to use the yogurt cold when I make the 2-ingredient dough, and I use 1 1/3 cup of flour, I use all-purpose, and then I add the teaspoon of baking powder, and then I also add some seasoning. Anyway, from the batch I get 4 pitas, so this is one of them. This is 4 points on WW, but I make this lunch all the time because I don't always have the pitas on hand. I usually don't have them, honestly. So I do this with bread, if I have sourdough from the market, or if I have Ezekiel or a sprouted grain bread from Trader Joe's that I like. Any of those work as a base for this, any type of pita or anything. So today I'm just using the 2-ingredient dough, but really you can use whatever you have on hand, any type of bread or anything. I'm gonna be using this as my base. Then I just have a can of tuna. I prefer to use the chunk light, and I make sure to get it in water. It's 0 points on WW. This can has 90 calories and it has 20 grams of protein, so it helps you to stay more full. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that up and strain it out. But what I do is I just mix the tuna after I strain it with some non-fat Greek yogurt. So I'm gonna use the same yogurt that I use for 2-ingredient dough. It's just the Chobani non-fat plain Greek yogurt, and that way it adds a little bit more protein and it's still 0 points. And usually I do like 1 to 2 tablespoons. I just mix it in to get the consistency that I want. Sometimes I use light mayo, but I'm actually out of it right now, so the Greek yogurt will be fine. And that way I'm not adding any extra points. But I'm also gonna add some of this seasoning. So this is a jalapeno popper seasoning blend. I have been using it so much. I really like it on eggs, and I really like it in tuna. I keep using it in my tuna. So that's what I'm gonna be using today. Any type of seasoning would work, honestly. Sometimes I switch it up and just do whatever I have on hand, and I have so many different seasoning mixes like this, but right now this has just been my favorite. So I'm gonna go ahead and strain the tuna, add the Greek yogurt, add some of this, some salt and pepper, and then I also have some diced red onion. So if you have any veggies on hand you wanna throw in, sometimes I like to throw in relish, or I dice up some pickles, or onion is usually my favorite. So I'm gonna throw in some diced red onion, mix it all together, and then just spread out the entire thing on this pita. Then I'm gonna top it with a slice of this reduced fat Colby Jack sliced cheese. I just got this one from Meijer, but I usually use any reduced fat cheese that I have. I also have some Swiss in there that I could use, but today I'm craving this. I'm gonna go ahead and top it with 1 slice of this for 2 points on WW, and 1 slice has 60 calories and it's got 5 grams of protein. I'll pop that in the air fryer. Usually I have the air fryer going at 375, and I leave it in there for like 10 to 12 minutes. So I'll let you know how long I put it in there. But that's it for the tuna pita. Then on the side, I always like to have some type of chip or low point cracker or something. So today I'm having a bag of these Quest protein chips. They are 3 points for the bag. It's 140 calories and 19 grams of protein. So this will add a lot of protein to the meal, and these help to keep me more full. I really like the flavor. Loaded taco is really good, and it's only 3 points. Then I'm also going to have a fruit on the side, and today I'm gonna have grapes. So I just have these grapes for 0 points. Usually I measure out like a cup serving, I wash them, and then that is my sweet snack with my lunch, which usually I like to have the wrap and the chips, and then I'll eat the grapes at the end because I always want something sweet. But that's how I make this lunch. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble it quickly, and I'll show you how. Okay, so my lunch is done. And I have my tuna pita. So I ended up using the toast setting on my air fryer. So I did it for about 10 minutes and it's perfectly toasted. If you do air fryer at like 375, like I mentioned, you might want to do a little bit less time just to make sure the cheese doesn't burn, but it is perfectly melted. Then I have the Quest chips for 3 points. With the tuna pita, it's 4 points for the 2 ingredient dough, 0 for the tuna with the Greek yogurt and seasoning, and then 2 for the slice of cheese. And then the grapes are 0. My entire lunch is 9 points total on WW. In MyFitnessPal, it's about 560 calories, and this meal has 60 grams of protein. So it is definitely higher because of the protein chips, which I like the Quest brand. Those are just my favorite that I've found. There's also other options, like Atkins has some that we really like. And I've gotten some off Amazon before, different types of protein chips, but otherwise, if I don't have those, usually I'll have like popcorners or pretzel crisps or something like that. So this is my lunch. It's quick and easy to throw together, and this will be so filling. It'll hold me over for hours, and it'll be really good and satisfying. So anyway, that's lunch number 1. Okay, so I'm on to lunch number 2. This is another one that I make a lot, and you guys know I make bowls all the time. So this is one of my favorite bowls to make. It's actually in my cookbook, and it is a Cobb salad bowl. What I'm doing today, I have some brown rice that I'm gonna be using up. I'm gonna use a 5-point serving as my base, and that's one thing with bowls that why they work so well for me and why I enjoy them so much is honestly they're like a salad with a base of rice, and I'm not a huge fan of salads. I always feel like I'm still hungry and I need some type of like bread or carb with them, and this is kind of my way of getting a bunch of vegetables in but still getting a carb like rice. And I really like this brown jasmine rice that I'm using today. It's from Trader Joe's. I'm gonna use a 5-point serving as my base. Then I've got some hard-boiled eggs that I just made, so I'm actually going to use 2 of those. They're 0 points. That'll also help make it more filling and higher in protein. I've got a chicken breast that I'm gonna be using. So this is just a grilled chicken breast. I'm gonna not track this, it's 0 points. Then I'm going to have some bacon. So I had some bacon already prepped. It's just center cut, and I'm gonna use 2 points worth, which is 2 slices. Then for cheese, I like to use feta in this. So I'm gonna be using just some fat-free feta cheese. This is from Trader Joe's, and out of all the cheeses, the only type of fat-free cheese that I really can enjoy and I like, and I feel like is similar to the regular kind, is feta. So that's why I like it. I like this one from Trader Joe's. I feel like it is just as good as feta. It tastes really similar, and so I like to use this or even the reduced fat, but the fat-free is 0 points on WW, so I don't have to track the cheese. Then I have some tomatoes here that I'm just gonna cut up. I also have some honey mustard dressing. So this is Bolthouse Farms. It's 2 points for 2 tablespoons, and that's how much I tracked, making this entire bowl 9 points when it's done. It's gonna be really big. It's gonna have a lot of protein, so it'll be filling and keep me satisfied for a long time. And I just love the combination. I really like it all together with the rice as well. So I'm gonna show you guys how I make this. I pretty much just heat up the rice and the chicken first, and then everything else goes on cold, but I will show you how. Okay, so I'm about to eat my lunch now. I finished up the bowl. Adam's behind me making his lunch actually, and he's doing the same thing he does every time, which is buffalo chicken wraps, right?
But I'm using chicken salad for one of them.
Oh, but he is using some leftover chicken salad. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and eat my club salad bowl. I have my base of rice for 5 points, the chicken for 0, I added some red onion for 0, some fat-free feta for 0, some tomatoes for 0, 2 eggs for 0, and then 2 slices of bacon for 2 points. Then I have the Dijon mustard for 2 points, which actually I only used a tablespoon, so that would definitely be a 1-point serving. So actually this bowl's 8 points. So 8 points total for all this food. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it together, and this will be my lunch. I'll have a side of grapes afterward, and then that'll be it because this is gonna be filling. So anyway, that's lunch number 2, and I'll be back with the next one. Okay, so I've just been working on cookies, and I actually wasn't even planning on filming my lunch today, but I wanted to do a snack plate as the 3rd lunch that I'm sharing with you guys because it's something that I just keep making, and that's what I'm gonna be making today. So I figured, why not just film it with what I'm gonna be making? This lunch plate is going to be 6 points for everything. I just went ahead and tracked everything, and the only 2 things I actually am gonna be tracking are the cheese and crackers, but everything else is 0 points. So let me share what I'm gonna be doing. I am craving tuna today, so I'm definitely gonna have that with it. I don't have cucumbers, which is like my favorite combination when I have tuna with the cucumbers to dip in it, but I have some grape tomatoes, so I'm gonna use those instead. I'm just gonna use some chunk light tuna. This is 0 points for the can. It's 90 calories and it's got 20 grams of protein. So this is gonna be a high protein plate as well because I've got a few things that are pretty high in protein and it'll just keep us full for a long time. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the tuna salad with some non-fat plain Greek yogurt. This will add a little bit more protein, but I usually add like a tablespoon or 2. The seasoning for the tuna is just gonna be the same one I used earlier. It's the jalapeno popper. It's so good. I really just love it in tuna. It does add a little bit of a kick, but the flavor is just so good. It honestly reminds me of the jalapeno seasoning on potato chips, if you ever get jalapeno potato chips. So really, really good. If you guys find this, I highly recommend it. Anyway, that's gonna make it a little bit more spicy, and then I'm also going to be making some deviled eggs using these 2 hard-boiled eggs I have. So I'm just gonna peel those, cut them open, and take the yolks and mash them with some salt, pepper, and a little bit of this Coop's Arizona heat mustard. So this is also kind of spicy. It'll definitely add some heat, but I like it. And I don't add that much to the egg to make it the deviled eggs. So I'll scoop those back into the egg whites, top them with a little bit of paprika, and then that'll be my deviled eggs. I'll have my tuna salad. I'm gonna be eating the tuna salad with some of these savory thin crackers from Trader Joe's. They're rice crackers. They're really salty, and I like that they have a strong taste of sesame seeds because they have a bunch of sesame seeds in them. They are gluten-free as well, and for the serving of about 38 crackers, it's 130 calories. It's got 2 grams of fat and 3 grams of protein. So I'm gonna be eating those with the tuna, but I'm also gonna have some tomatoes on the side. These are actually really good right now. I'm not usually huge on eating raw tomatoes like that, but I do like to have cherry tomatoes sometimes, and dipped in the tuna, I think it'll be really good. Also paired with some cheese. So we recently got this cheese from Sam's Club, and I'm gonna go ahead and have a piece of the Gouda. So I actually scanned it and it scans as 4 points, but if you type in the information for the Gouda, because it's the Havarti that's entered in the app, the Gouda is actually 3 points for the chunk. So it's not that big, it's just a little pack like this, but I'm gonna be having 1 cheese as well. And then I'm also gonna have some grapes. And one thing that I like about doing snack plates is that, first of all, I have all this stuff and I just quickly throw it together, and usually I have a lot of 0 point options. And I also can incorporate more high protein options. Sometimes I like to add hummus as well, or like I said, I'll do cucumbers or like a different fruit or different cracker or pretzels or something. It really is easy to have some variety with it, but I kind of like setting it up nice on the plate because it looks like a lot of food, and it's kind of fun to make like a cute little presentation, kind of like a mini charcuterie board or whatever. So I'm just gonna set it up nicely on my plate, and then that's gonna be my lunch that I'm gonna snack on. Like I said, it's 6 points for the entire thing, and it is going to be so filling. My stomach is honestly growling right now waiting for it, so I'm gonna start making it. Okay, so my snack plate is done. That was actually really fast to throw together. It took like no time. The eggs took a minute to peel, but they actually peel so nicely now that I use my Dash egg cooker. and then it was just making the tuna and getting everything together. I know I said I make it pretty and it's still just like kind of boring, but taking the time to kind of set it up and make it look like this just helps me on my journey, and it helps me to stay consistent. It's something I kind of look forward to, these snack plates. And like I said before, I'm not usually one to just kind of eat raw veggies, but when I have the tomatoes with the tuna, it's really good. With the cheese, I really like the deviled eggs. The grapes are sweet. I'll probably end with those, but I also like to have grapes with cheese, and this is just like one of my favorite meals. This is another meal that I'd pack this type of stuff up for work if I were packing a lunch to go. Usually though, I would just not make the deviled eggs, I just mash them in a cup, but I like to use the tuna packets and just add a little Greek yogurt and seasoning, and then the rest of the stuff you could just toss in containers. But yeah, this is my lunch. It's only 6 points for this entire plate, and this is one of my favorite lunches. Something that's been one of my go-tos is just kind of throwing together a quick snack plate like this. That is the last one for this video of just high protein and filling lunches. I will include the information on the screen for every recipe with like the macros and stuff, but yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.